this is not complete. It's a graduation thing?
It was 7, right?
No. It was actually 9. It was Capella's right, Sanders Cummings right, Harris Edwards. I think Jonathan Owens is correct. I didn't see him at the breakfast. I saw McCarr at the breakfast, Christian Robinson at the breakfast, Cornelius at the breakfast. But the other guy is Chris Burnett. You know that?
Chris Burnett?
Chris Burnett.
That's all.
He graduated this morning. I mean, he's graduating. Looking into going to grad school, which is pretty awesome. There's one more name though.
Todd Briggs.
Oh, that's who was at the picture, but he had already graduated.
Okay.
Thank you. Because he was there to take a picture this morning, but I think he had already graduated.
Mm-hmm.
But he wanted to come back and take a picture with that group of guys. That's exactly what it was. But the guy that wasn't on the list was Chris Burnett.
He wasn't.
It wasn't on it.
Yeah, Chris was not on the list. And when he was there, I was like,
Pretty quick to graduate.
That's
4 years,
yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Less than 4 years.
Yeah, 3.5. And we've been targeting a lot of guys for 3.5. I think Murray got done 3.5. A lot of guys get done 3.5. Because if they don't redshirt and they play 4 years of eligibility, they're like right now they'd be done, and a lot of them just want to go get ready for the combine and all that. A lot of times they don't want to take class in the spring. So, but Chris Burnett, the almost, what do you call it, valedictorian.
Oh, yeah.
He was number 2, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because he was at, because it was that salutatorium or something. Because he was at, I was not able to break the mold and I'll be allowed to go to graduation. Because NCAA rules didn't allow it. They said it was special enough if he was valedictorian, if he was number 2.
That's the NCAA.
Mm-hmm. That's what I heard. Don't quote me on that. We had a really good practice today. It was the young men I just mentioned didn't have to practice today because of graduation, and we actually had a little shortened practice. Didn't have the kicking part, and but we had very good energy. Very, I mean, you got a little bit. Guys got after each other a little bit here and there. A couple scraps in there. That OLDL stuff got heated up a little bit, which is not always bad. It kind of energized the day, and so we finished on a high note. And then we ran them hard, and they all ran their times extremely well. Best times yet. During the bowl practices, everybody ran real hard. It was a pretty day. Now they get to go shoot paintballs at each other, I think, today. So, I didn't know that, did you?
Breaking news.
Yep. Tweet that.
Not tonight.
Probably not good.
And, Coach, are you allowed to talk about the new linebacker you might have had out there?
Ryan Rankin. Yes, I am. Ryan, I think it's R-Y-N-E. Ryan Rankin. He did not practice today. He was going through the physical exam and all that kind of stuff. But he's able to practice tomorrow. And so he'll get a first taste. He'll get his first taste of that. Not a lot of mid-year guys are going to do that, and a lot of them are just some have just finished things up academically, and some of them. I think if you practice now, you can't play in an all-star game, and a lot of the guys want to be in all-star games and all that. So I think we ran into that with LeMay. LeMay practiced early, and then we found out afterwards that kept him from being in an all-star game. So a lot less of that going on than it used to be. And of course, some years back, they could not only practice here, they could practice at the bowl. They could get the bowl gifts. They could do all that stuff. But they cut that out a while back.
What do you like about him? Why did you guys want him?
Ryan? Well, he's a very physical guy, very tough, hard-nosed, stout, sturdily built guy who likes contact. Very good kid. And, he's an inside linebacker.
There might be a lot of opportunity at that spot next year. Is that what makes it important to get a guy like him in here pretty early?
It helps. I mean, any of those guys we can get in at the mid-year is going to be an advantage for them. There's probably a couple spots where it's not as crucial to get them here in the mid-year, but definitely linebackers is one of those positions where it ought to help him.
So many guys are planning to early enroll, not just here, other schools. It seems like there's more and more of that each year. I guess, why do you think that is, and has that impacted recruiting in a significant way?
Well, I mean, just for us at Georgia, if we have, we could have as many as 10 mid-year enrollees and count them back to last year's class, which allows you to sign forward. Still, this year's class, maybe it's 25, so you could get into the 30, 35 range possibly. You gotta have room in the 85, but so sometimes in order to get your numbers up, it helps you to get them in. But a lot of guys just they just don't want to. They don't want to be around that last semester. They're ready to go. They want to learn. They want to compete. They want to have a chance to play. I think that's the biggest thing. They're just excited about the next phase in life, and they want to get a head start academically, get a head start in the weight room, in the football aspect of it. And we don't necessarily push it real hard. If there's every year we pushed it, it was this year, because we were shooting to get, we're trying to get to 10, and so that was an important thing for this year's class. But most classes, it's just a matter of we might bring it up. If you're the kind of guy that'd be excited about getting a head start, great. If not, it's not that big a deal.
Can you think of somebody that, having arrived early, has helped them play the freshman recently?
I just would have to almost have a list in front of me to look at.
I'm trying to think of, well, maybe Mark Beard this year, although he's not a freshman. I was just trying to think of people that it really benefited.
Beard would be one. This last year it certainly helped Beard.
Yeah.
Stafford.
Probably helped Stafford. Yeah.
Keith Marshall,
Yeah,
See them
Keith.
thinking.
Coach, what can you say beyond the statement about the SEC's decisions on I guess, non-suspension,
Right.
leaving it to y'all? And he's saying they're leaving it to the institution, but what is the institution doing?
I guess the only comment I'd make is I trust our commissioner with any decision he makes in those types of matters, and that's about it.
How
Have you
can-
guys taken any action on Dawson or anyone on your team for anything that might have happened in that game?
Dawson, I did, yes. I'm not going to give detail of it, but yeah, Dawson. And Dawson saw it, and then Dawson realizes it was a bad thing and a bad image for him and for Georgia, and he understood why I needed to discipline him.
In terms of, might have to miss a quarter or a half?
He won't be any playing time.
Okay. He was talking about saying it was really unintentional, but he understood how it looked really bad.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it looked very bad, so it's just not Georgia football, it's not. And I think when he saw it, he said, "Coach, I saw it, and I don't blame you." He didn't even make an excuse. He just said, he said, when I saw it, it looked bad, and I'm sorry.
How concerning are the helmet-to-helmet hits, though, like the one that take place? I mean, and the college game itself, just in general, not maybe after that one spot. but just in general.
Helmet-to-helmet, there's a helmet-to-helmet hit almost every play. I mean, I don't know if that's really I think, they're trying to, I mean, how many times does a running back run the ball and he drives forward and here comes a tackler, and I mean, helmet-to-helmet happens almost.
I guess when a guy's not looking per se, and it happens in that instance, kind of instance.
Well, I don't want to get into that. I just don't want to get into it right now. But I think everybody's trying to do what's right by the rules.
Is the discipline Ogletree any? He got flagged in the game, but his came up as being a possible targeted hit, which resulted in suspensions by other players earlier this year.
No, I think he was just playing hard and was trying to. I don't think he was trying to hurt anybody, or just played hard and. I mean, he got penalized, and the team got penalized for what happened. I think it was appropriate.
John Jenkins is listed as having no concussion on the injury report. When did that injury occur? Can you say about that?
I'm not going to get into injury report today. So.
Okay.
O-line,
Got what you got.
it's kind of when you're in bowl practice, you know, obviously some players are starting to think about what comes after the bowl and some auditioning for spring practice of next year. But O-line's kind of in a situation where everybody's supposed to be back, and it's almost kind of. Will you all fiddle around with things and start to get
Yeah, well, I think Coach Friend challenged all the linemen and said, you know what, I don't even know who's going to start in this game. So we got 15 practices, and 10 before we leave for Christmas. And if you want to start, you need to prove it on a daily basis. I actually heard those words come out of his mouth. So yeah, he wants to really keep everybody sharp and keep everybody competing. And you know, sometimes there's guys that don't play because they don't quite know it as good as another guy. And so, I mean, there's some guys that have been coming along, and I don't know if they'll win a job this game, but I mean, I think there's still going to be some pretty good open competition in the spring for that O-line. I don't think it's going to be well, but here's the top 5, and they're it. I mean, they got to keep earning it right now, because I think there's some guys on the way that can really push people.
Mark, you brought up Homer Smith's name the other day, and I know why you went to him, but how did you know about him, and who put you in touch with him?
Well, I knew Homer from when I was at Florida State, and I think he was the offensive coordinator at UCLA when he came to visit Florida State. That's when I first met him, and I just was very intrigued with him. I mean, he came to visit us. We were going shotgun, no huddle, fast break offense. You know, kind of what people are doing now. That was in 92, 93, and he just wanted to know what we were doing. And so I spent time with him and just listened to him talk, and we just kind of kept up with each other. And then somewhere along the way, I knew he had written a book on time management, clock management, and all that, and we had our issue after that Auburn game, and I said we need a better plan. And so that's when we contacted him, asked him to come in. He did a great job of going through everything with us. It was the best. I think it was the best money we've spent on, you know, bringing in a coach and talking about something that's just so crucial to so many big games. And you know, when I was at Florida State, we didn't have many close games. Just, you know, we didn't have. It wasn't like every single week you're dealing with that clock ticking. And where in this league, you better have a pretty good idea how to manage it. You're gonna be in trouble.
Your coaching colleagues.
Last question. Okay.
I don't want to take the last one, but your coaching colleagues and friends that you've talked to, or have you talked to any? Have they talked to you about, you know, different opinions about what they might have done in that situation?
Yeah. I'm not worried about it. Really.
I don't mean it from disrespect. So
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I think everybody's got their own. I think most. I mean, I don't know what people do. But I think, again, even going back to Auburn, my biggest regret was we didn't run as many plays as we possibly could. You know, I gave our team one play less of an opportunity to score at the end. And the goal, by not spiking the ball, was to try to get 3 plays instead of 2, and to just, you know, basically continue to do what we do. I mean, what we do is we go fast break. We go, ball gets set down. We don't spike it. We just call the play and run it. We just do what we do all the time. So I don't really think it's just if other people do it a different way, or all it takes is Gary Danielson to say, well, you know, they probably should spike it. And everybody decides that's a bad thing. And Gary's a very smart guy. But but I don't even know if you go back and listen to the TV copy. Not that he's the end all guy, but he is a sharp guy, and I respect him. Even as we were approaching that moment, he's like, "Well, they could spike the ball, or they can just run a play." And then later on, he said something about, "Well, maybe they should spike the ball, but maybe the ball shouldn't have got batted at the line of scrimmage." You know what I'm saying? So that's really the issue. But everybody wants to think that's the reason why the game ended. The game ended because we didn't spike it. The game ended because the ball got tipped and it landed in the hands of a guy in play. That's why the game ended like it did.
Thank you, guys.